And welcome to this edition of the Native News Update on this Thursday, May 5th. I'm your host for today's program, Paul DeMain. Many of the stories right here can also be found at our website at IndianCountryNews.com, and here are some of the news stories for the day from the Associated Press and other Native news sources. Two significant events that celebrate Native American culture will be held at the University of California, Riverside this May. The 30th Annual Medicine Ways Conference is scheduled for Saturday, May 14th, and the 30th Annual UCR Pow-Wow will be held Memorial Day weekend, May 27th and 28th. Both events are free and open to the public. The Medicine Ways Conference brings together contemporary traditional leaders from across the United States to discuss how Native American medicine and ways of life can help everyone. The conference theme this year is Healing Native Families and Communities, and focuses on the healing of Native families and communities by promoting good health and active lifestyles through the sweat lodge, storytelling, and use of native plants in healing. For more information, you can go online at www.nasp.uct.edu, and we'll put that URL up for your information there. Oral reports and rocket launches the next day are due at the First Nations launch at the Best Western Airport Hotel in Milwaukee, Wisconsin this coming Friday, May 6th, along with safety checks that will be done during each presentation, and followed by rocket launches all day long on May 7th at the Richard Bong Recreational Area in Wisconsin. Doors open at 12 noon on May 6th for those presentations, and for further information you can go to uwgb.edu/WSGE/FNL, and we'll put that URL up for you to look at as well. The Shoshone Bannock tribes have broken ground on a $47 million hotel and events center on the Fort Hall Indian Reservation. This project is a good thing, and not only for the tribes but also for the southeastern part of Idaho, said Tribal Executive Director Angelo Gonzalez. Officials say the 164,000 square foot development is expected to be finished by May of 2012 and will be an economic boon to the tribes and surrounding communities by attracting headliner events, as well as offering a convenient place to stay for Fort Hall Casino visitors. Tribal officials held the public event last Wednesday, though pre-construction work started about a month ago due to favorable weather. The center is being built near the Interstate 15 at the Fort Hall exit. University of Iowa anthropologists and students will seek artifacts left by prehistoric American Indians at an Iowa City park. The Iowa City Council gave approval for the small-scale excavation on what is now Hickory Hill Park. The Office of the State Archaeologist will help with excavation, which will run from May 16th through June 3rd, according to the Iowa City Press Citizen. The work is part of the university's annual field school. For decades, it was conducted at Plum Grove Historic Site in Iowa City, but University of Iowa anthropology professor Margaret Beck says they decided to move to another spot this year. The university team will follow the lead of Jack Musgrove of the State Department of History and Archives. In 1960, Musgrove unearthed a number of prehistoric ceramic pieces. The collection has since been held by the Office of the State Archaeologist. And State Superintendent Janet Barresi said she'd like to have American Indian culture taught on a regular basis in Oklahoma classrooms. Barresi spoke this week to an audience of tribal educators and officials during a symposium in Norman, Oklahoma, saying she wants to work with Oklahoma-based tribes on ways to incorporate Indian culture into the curriculum. She says one of her key hires in the coming months will be for a director of Native American education at the State Department of Education. Quinton Romanose of Watunga, the president-elect of the National Indian Education Association, says he's encouraged to hear of Barresi's plans. He says only a few other states, including Montana, New Mexico, Arizona, and Wisconsin, have taken significant steps to incorporate tribal culture into the educational experience of the classroom. Arizona has seen its revenue from tribal casinos rise for the third straight quarter. The Arizona Department of Gaming reports that tribal payments to the state will be $22.6 million for the quarter ending on March 31st. That's a 6% increase from the same quarter a year ago. Money from the payments will be distributed to various special funds, including ones for education, emergency services, tourism, and gambling prevention. The 22 tribal casinos in Arizona pay the state between 1 to 8% of their gross revenue from certain types of gambling, such as slot machines and card games. Members of the Spirit Lake Nation are getting ready to elect a new leader. Roger Yankton and Leander McDonald are the two candidates for chairman in recent primary elections. They got the most votes in the tribal primary to advance. Chairman Myra Pearson isn't seeking re-election. The Devil's Lake Journal reports that the 64-year-old Yankton worked 20 years in housing and development and 14 years in human resources. The 48-year-old McDonald is his nephew. McDonald is the academic dean at the Condeska Sikana Community College. And that is the latest roundup of news from Indian Country on this edition of the Native News Update. We want to thank you for joining with us and come back again soon. Wawanan.